You say we don't need money. You say things fall apart anyway. Now you say he had a nice car. I redefine the girl you are. If you stay, I promise the earth, hidden in my palm is no material worth. Just say you won't leave, say you forgive this broken promise, and you can stay away. I say you words are empty. You say he's not like me, and you probably threw us away, shouting words of good. It echoes down the hallway. You have to remember, if you'd stay, I promise the earth, hidden in my palm is no material worth. Just say you won't leave, say you forgive this broken promise, and you can stay. It's our power. It's our power. Say you forgive me. You say we don't need money. Just say you'll stay with me. You won't stay. I promise the earth that he's the one who wanted with material worth. You say you just need stability, and I can't give you, so you can't stay. Say you forgive me. You say you don't need money. Just say you'll stay with me.
Can you hear me in this microphone? Sorry, yeah, it feels like things have been hyped to a level which I can't possibly achieve, and now here we are. Play Ritual. All right. Is it on here? It might not be on this computer. I'll have to download it. You hear this voice thing? You have heard it, Jake. It was on the Vertex video. Um. Where did I upload that song? Hold on, I can try and find. Hopefully my Bandcamp is logged in so I can take that song off. Edit. How do I download? I don't know how to download a track from Bandcamp. No. Maybe someone can download it off of Bandcamp and then send it to me. Jim, can you do that? Sorry. Haven't played guitar in 3 days. That's a bad streak. Hey, David. Yeah, well, that song that I was just playing was me. These are not noiseless single coils. These are just single coils. The mic might be quiet when I'm not right on it. Is it loud enough when I'm on it? I'll play that tune again then. Alright. It was a song that I wrote when I was younger. But I re-recorded it for the Vertex video. Okay, let me turn the mic up.
You say we don't need money. You say things fall apart anyway.
Is that a bit louder?
Now you say you had a nice car. I'll redefine the girl you had. If you stay, I promise the earth. Here in my palm is no material worth. Just say you won't leave. Say you forgive this broken promise, and you can't stay away. I say you are empty. You say he's not like me. He doesn't have shine like a kid. It echoes down the hall. We don't have gone anywhere. If you stay, I promise the earth. Here in my palm is no material worth. Just say you won't leave. Say you forgive this broken promise, and you can't stay. It's not permanent. It's not permanent. It's not permanent. Stay down, say you forgive me. You say we don't need money. Just say you'll stay with me. You won't stay. I promise you. But he's the one you want with material worth. You say you just need stability, and I got it. So you can't stay. Say you forgive me. Say you don't need money. Say you'll stay with me.
Cool. Can you hear this mic? I'm trying to download this other tune that Jim likes. See if it works. Oh, seems to have. This is another song that I wrote. If you can.
It's not a miracle that brought me here
we're in E flat.
again. It's a habit. Don't fall for it. Beyond the visual of selfish motivations lead to use you. I can't help it. Regained the trust. your honor, and I can't change it. You kept your stature, shoulder grace despite this. You hear too much, and I can't help it.
That song was actually written before the Justin Bieber one that has that same hook in it. Unfortunately. There was something I was going to say. There's actually a SoundCloud which has way more of the like covery stuff with more of me singing. I'll try and find it. If you want to hear me trying to sing for whatever reason. Yeah. For instance. But I obviously can't play it because it's like covers. So does anyone want to talk about anything? Yeah, I think Jim's probably got a link to that. It's not good at all, so probably best not to. I think Jim put it up on YouTube as well somewhere. If you search John Gordy Lover, you should come over. I think it's somewhere on Jim's channel. Right, what should we do? So this live stream is basically just to attempt to do a bit more of the Helix microphone stuff and whatever. They're still working. 1, 2. Can't turn this mic off now. That's weird.
But I think we can also do some fun stuff like this if you want to take things into a bit of a different direction.
One, two.
Okay, so we've had a serious question there.
From Jonathan about the melodic minor scale and the harmonic minor scale. So if you want to talk about the differences, so there's one note difference between the harmonic minor scale and the melodic minor scale, and it's the sixth, right? So A minor, so if you're playing, so a true minor scale, so not like a version of a major scale, there's a kind of a distinction. So a true A minor harmonic minor scale would sound like this. So A, B, C, D, E, F, and then you have a minor third jump to a G sharp and then an A. So the kind of Ingve scale. The difference with the melodic minor scale is that on the way up, you also sharpen the sixth. So you have an A, a B, C, D, E, F sharp, G sharp, A. And I call them, or the way that this works is that in kind of classical music, you sharpen them because they're reference to their relative major keys, if that makes sense. Cheers, Cranor. So that's the only difference between a melodic minor scale and a harmonic minor scale, is you have a sharpened seventh in the... So you get that minor 7. Whereas in the melodic minor scale, you'd have a... Cheers, Jason. So in jazz, you hear the melodic minor used as kind of the altered scale. That's quite a common way that you hear that used. But also you hear the harmonic minor scale used generally over like a flat 9 chord. So if you're in G minor, that D major 7 flat 9, kind of you can read as saying, I want a harmonic minor scale over that. Does that make any sense at all? I don't think it's wrong. There's another version of the melodic minor scale which goes up with the sharpened 6th and 7th and then comes down in like a natural minor, or like an Aeolian vibe. That comes from classical music, things like Bach and stuff. In jazz, when we talk about the melodic minor scale, that's generally not what we do. Hopefully that's helpful in some small way. I'll go back to this until someone pops up with another sensible question.
Thank you for the sensible question. we have another sensible question from Robert Kent, who asks... Wait, hold on.
Hi John, is the HX Stomp the best value modeler multi-effects compared to the Fractal, Kemper and Helix? I'm thinking pound for pound it gives a lot more back. Pound for pound, I don't think there's any real competition. So like 400 quid for the HX Stomp. I can't think of anything particularly better. The Kemper is also decent, but it's 3 times the price of an HX Stomp. The Helix is more than twice, and the Fractal FM3 is more than twice. So yeah, you get a lot for your money with the HX Stomp, I think. Any interest in playing Bore played by Buck? Not really. I probably have to read it. Hey Isaiah, when playing legato runs, do I always pick when changing strings?
Thank you for the sensible question.
Almost always, I think so, yeah. I can't really think. I guess there'd be some hammer-ons from nowhere sometimes, but in general, I'll be picking... or doing some sort of hybrid pick thing, but generally picking. I'm thinking anyway.
Thank you again for the sensible question. Let's keep the sensible questions coming, and we can talk about more guitar stuff.
It's Pancake Days, won't it? Alright. Yeah, I got some eggs. Whoa.
Okay, we have another sensible question from Mr. Drummer 316. Thank you for the sensible question.
So, Mr. Drummer asks, I have a bad memory. Any ideas for memorizing fretboard scales, etc.? Thanks. And Deep Jimpact has a
comical response from Deep Jimpact, who is saying, you've already asked that, which is sort of implying that, he's forgotten he asked the question.
So, ideas. So the way that I tend to memorize scales is, firstly, I start off with like the 3-note per string shape. And you might notice that you've got 7 days a week, and maybe you choose one shape per day. So here's what I might do. So say you're just trying to learn like position 1 of the G major scale, or whatever you want to call it. I might spend a day just playing that, but play that through the circle of fifths. So I'll play it in G first. Right, and then I'd go around the circle of fifths and I'd go to D. Then I'd go to A. Okay, and that might take up like a week of my time where I'm just playing that. Not a week, but that be my first day maybe, and then maybe the second day I'd take the next diatonic shape. So for G, I might start a G major scale but on an A, so okay, and then to do that in D, I'd be starting that on an E. Okay, and then in A, I'd be starting on a B. And etc. And then day 3, I might start on a 3rd degree of the scale. Now, one of the ways that this kind of thing is taught is as modes, and this is one of the things that me and David agree on. We don't agree on much, but this we agree on. What we're doing here is not really practicing modes, but it is practicing the diatonic positions of the major scale, and it's super useful. So by the end of the week, in theory, you might be able to play G major starting on any note of the scale. So G major all over the neck, and that's incredibly useful. So that's kind of one layer of learning. And then the next sort of thing is maybe taking intervals and shapes through the scale. So I think Rick Graham just actually put up a video about this. But, you might try and play thirds through the scale. That kind of thing. Or fourths, or etc. and fifths. Or you might try and play arpeggios through the scale. So and all of these things are effectively helping you to visualize that actual shape that you're working on. So like I'm saying, spend a good day with each kind of one and move it through different keys before moving on to another shape, and spend real time with those things. So what I used to do was just sit with a keyboard playing a drum solo and just sort of blast through all of the shapes over and over and over again. And in that way I can now sort of visualize each of those quite effectively. And then you'll find that each time you try and do something different, like maybe you try and play and the way I like to think of this is that you'll kind of, at one end of the bridge there's kind of no knowledge of the scale, and at the end of the other end of the bridge there's like perfect knowledge of a scale. And what you're doing is every time you try and do one sort of element of practice, you're sort of building that bridge across, so that hopefully, although there's not necessarily any real end point, each kind of thing that you practice maybe gets you a little bit closer. That's kind of how I would approach it. So you're not thinking I need to memorize all of this in one shot or whatever. You're just gradually improving your knowledge of stuff. So I can't say to you that there's one stage that I suddenly knew loads of shapes or whatever. It's just a gradual process of practicing lots of different things with a scale, and you gradually improve competency in that way, I think. There are obviously other approaches, but that's been mine. There are other people who might use things like scale formulas and might use intervals and that kind of approach. and I think that's also useful. But I think there's, that I'm just saying my personal experience. That's how I've gone about learning things, and it's something that I've still tried to do. Recommend learning the note names or just patterns. So this is, you want to be able to identify the note names, but I think David might agree with this as well, that when we're playing, probably you're not hearing or seeing note names flash through in your head or whatever. You're not thinking, I'm just going to hit an F sharp now. Probably that's not what's going on too much. But you want to be aware of what interval of the scale you're kind of playing. So if I'm playing over G, I'm aware that the A is like the 2nd or the 9, or that if I hit this, that's like the 7th. So the note name is not necessarily crucial. The function of the note probably is, because you're going to want to know or have some sense of notes that are going to work, if that makes sense. And you could, there's also 2 ways to kind of, I'm overcomplicating it. So yeah, certainly learn the note functions. So, if you're learning G major starting on the 3rd position, then you definitely want to know that you're starting on the 3rd degree of the scale, and that you've just finished on the 5th degree of the scale, or the 3rd, or the 2nd, or the root. But again, there's no pressure on this. It's just a thing that gradually, with practice, starts to improve over time. There's a fog that gradually lifts, or you're slowly building a bridge. It's not like there's a sudden point where you know everything. It's just a lifetime's practice, if that makes sense. Can I play Love and Peace, Duke Levine?
Unfortunately, I do not know that song.
But yeah, you the other thing is if you're playing chords and stuff, you definitely want to be able to identify the notes along the strings as well. So you need to know that. But when I'm playing, I'm not thinking necessarily about note names flying past. Same way as that if I'm playing on the piano, I'm not necessarily thinking about each and every single note as I play it, or as I play a chord. If it's a cluster of 4 notes, so like right now I'm playing an F sharp, a G, an A, and a D, I'm not really thinking about each of those individual notes. I'm thinking about their function. So I'm thinking I've got a G and a D, so that's like a 5th, and then I've got a 2nd in it, or 9th, and a 7th. I'm thinking of that rather than individual notes. Yeah, if you're not enjoying it, then hit the like button. It's the old psychological.
I'm going to try and play some funk. If you've got a sensible question, feel free to leave it. So the way that I practice scales, I think, comes from the classical way of practicing scales, in which you play the scales up and down, and sometimes you do contrary motion, sometimes you do like it in thirds and stuff. But yeah, there are plenty of other ways to do it. Yeah, and I think also, like David says, you know, anytime you're practicing a certain thing, it's not like that time gets wasted, but sometimes, like David went on a journey of discovering himself, and the approach that he's got now is a different approach to what he started with, and I think that's of definite value too, because that's like a new layer of understanding that he can apply to what he already knew, or, you know, also covering the gaps of stuff that he didn't know potentially. And I think that's something that we all probably should be open to, you know, like kind of new ideas and bits and pieces like that. Motivational chat, alright?
Any other questions about stuff? The guitar that I'm playing, by the way, guitar 156265, is a K-Line Springfield with Lola Dirty Blonde.
Factual information about gear.
Should we play something gentle? It's not very gentle, is it? I'll find something gentle here. Here, what about this one? What is this? Mike Morrison asks, wonder if Helix will drop in price with the release of the Quad Cortex. It's already, what, £400 cheaper? Also thank David for that. He was involved. I make the backing tracks. Guitar 1565265. If you want to send me an email, I can send a couple over to you, just so you can get a sense of what they're like, if you want.
question from Dan Boers. I've got an Helix stomp and use it with 4-cable method with an amp. How do I hook it up? I always go in direct. Sergio, I've got no idea, but it's probably in a month or two. Yeah, I can't say for sure. Hopefully, relatively soon. I think that could be interesting. So, anyone want to talk about anything else? Satriani like tone, that's cool. It could have been a latency problem, David. Just wasn't. Hold on, I've just got to send someone an email. So yeah, if you want these particular sounds for your Helix, you can get them in the description for not too much money. I'm not trying to rip anyone off. But you can basically get access to all of my presets if you want them. This one that I'm using at the moment is like Eric combined, so it's my main lead tone that I use. It's kind of my favorite one. I imagine this camera's going to go dead in a second. Lenny wants some pancakes. Have I tried the solo app yet? Of course I have, James. But it does happen to be on Lenny's iPad. And, yeah. What style is this? It's bad guitar. How can you achieve Pliny-like tone? Use a Roland Jazz Chorus style profile. And then turn off the cab sim. That's one of the kind of tricks. No, I use direct tone all the time, so I'm using Helix amps for every video that you've heard me using with the Helix, except for today's. It's not really jazz, but obviously I do play jazz, but I guess this is kind of like, I don't know, it's guitar in it. So yeah, any other questions? Let me just show you a Pliny tone that I put together. Serious questions. So that's my Pliny kind of clean. Do I get paid by Line 6 at all? So I've done one video for Yamaha, which was paid. And that was the video, they asked me to do a video about Helix Native. Aside from that, I just use the stuff because I like it. It's a good question though. Serious questions. They did send me the power cap to try. And all that sort of stuff. Enjoy your walk, Keith. And Off-Grid Productions asked if I've got any Kemper opinions and profiles. I've actually, yeah, if you search my channel for Kemper stuff, there's a Kemper playlist. You meant Pliny lead tone. Yeah, I'm not sure about that. Yeah. What were the other questions? So in terms of getting paid by Line 6, the answer then in general is no, but I've done one paid demo for them. I do speak to them, but it's not like, I guess there are people out there that do get paid to do videos. I'm not really one of them. Generally, the videos that I make are just because I'm interested in what the thing does, and hopefully sharing that is interesting to one or two other people. I think if you're in it to make money on YouTube, the money comes with doing lots of different products and not necessarily on doing lots. You're not being ignored, Lenny. You're just being put on pause. Cool. That's awesome, Michael. K-lines both have 21 frets. It's a preference that I'm not really that bothered by about having a 22nd. Occasionally it matters. You know, like if you're playing Bon Jovi or something, but generally you're okay. And if you need that 22nd fret, you can just bend to it. Yeah, the channel was not used to having ladies. Any other questions about things? If you want to like the video, that would help me know that it was worth doing. Cheers, Amit. Thank you. Wait, that's that video gone, isn't it? So that's probably a good sign that we should wrap up. We'll take that as that being that sign. That's that battery dead. Thank you everyone who stopped by. In terms of what's coming on, so Michael, what have you tried and what are you missing? I don't know if you've I think most people that have tried my Eric preset that like the way it sounds like them. Favorite overdrive tone is probably my Eric lead tone. Yeah, I've got a Kemper and I've got you know, you've seen me playing other stuff on the channel like a Fractal FM3. I love the way the delays and reverb sound on that. And there's certain things that you can do on an FM3 which I think is really awesome. The Kemper, again, I really dig it. The Boss GT1000 I had a bit of a tricky start with, but I just want to give it a bit more of a try. I've tried the Hotone Ampero, the Headrush Gig Board, and there's definitely all sorts of good things that they do. I think I've got a thing from NewX as well, which I've got to do a video on at some point. So I've had my fingers in lots of modeling pies. But where I feel most creative or where I feel that I'm getting the tones that I want quickest happens to be in the Helix world. Yeah. Yeah, and I guess you see me making videos every single day. There's a reason that I use the Helix most days, and it's not because I'm getting paid by Line 6. So I guess that's a good thing to hear, maybe. Probably. But I think it's an interesting conversation to have about other stuff on YouTube and, you know, the state of play with paid demos and stuff. Probably a good one to talk about some other time. Yeah, the camera was down ages ago. It's a sign. I've got another battery charge, but Lenny wants her pancakes, and if she doesn't get them, she'll probably have a tantrum. Best way to go live with HX Stomp Stereo? Straight to the front of house, I think. So, Michael, I would suggest don't go via USB because that probably means you're sat right next to a monitor, and generally that can be a bit noisy. It depends which pedals you're saying it's taking, but I don't know what presets you're trying, but what I would suggest doing is just start something really simple, so just like a deluxe reverb with the matched cab and see how things sound with that. Definitely don't use anything like global EQ, certainly not straight off the bat. And hopefully maybe try the Line 6 litigator as well. There's a few amp models, you know, there's ones that I gravitate towards, or maybe like the AC30 and stuff. If you like the way it sounds on my videos, then in theory there should be some tones in there that you'll dig. If you want to email me, there's my email in the about section. I'll just send you the presets if you want to try them. If it helps you to find something useful in the device, that's also partly what I do this for. I guess to show potentially what is possible with the thing. Not like a brag or whatever, but just to say that that tone is available in the thing. And generally my patches aren't that crazy. I'm not doing anything like putting EQ or compressors at the end of the chain. So generally, if you're liking the way that my presets sound, then you should in theory be able to get those same kind of tones from your device without too much tweaking, I think. I wonder what monitors you're also using. Personally, the 4-cable method thing, there's too many variables for me to be able to give any good advice. I think, because it depends exactly what amp you're using and what your cab is. Everything will sound drastically different to the way that I intended for it to sound, or the way that it sounded with my rig, so I can't really advise properly on that. Yeah, hopefully if you look around my channel a bit, you'll find plenty of stuff with the Helix. I don't know exactly how many videos, probably 500 or something crazy like that. Let me have a look. 709 videos I've done with the Helix and the HX Stomp. I mean, that probably doesn't include this one. Nah, Lenny really likes Jim. She's a big fan of the neck. So yeah, if you're getting lots of noise, I would say you're probably sat near a noise source, and generally that would probably be your monitor. But yeah, Michael, send me an email and I'll try and help you out. My email is this if you want. Right, so let me know, does this sound okay? And if you want to like the video as a token of me saying, or token and saying you want this to happen again, that would be appreciated. I'm using JBL LSR 305 monitors. Right, anyway, that's enough jabber from me. Thank you for stopping by, everyone. And I'll catch you for another video soon. Let me know, leave a comment somewhere on the channel if you want me to do another stream later in the week or something. And if you've got a preferred time, I could probably try and accommodate. Probably. And hold on, let's do a thank you for participating in the serious chat. Insight, yeah. I'll catch you for another video soon. Cheers then.